Hello everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to explore a heartwarming story of kindness, courage, and the quiet power of ordinary people. It's the story of a mother named Tieu Huyen and her young daughter, two souls who live a humble yet compassionate life, and a young man named D, whose lives unexpectedly intersect. What begins as an ordinary day in the countryside quickly turns into a journey of courage, selflessness, and the power of human connection. Through moments of fear, uncertainty, and even danger, these characters show us that even in the most difficult times, kindness can shine through, and that sometimes it's those who have the least who give the most. So sit back, relax, and explore this heartfelt story that reminds us of what it truly means to care for one another. The early morning air was crisp and fresh, with a soft breeze rustling through the leaves. Sunlight peeked shyly over the treetops, casting a golden glow on everything it touched. Birds chirped cheerfully in the background, creating a peaceful, almost magical atmosphere. Dee and Adam had been up before dawn, preparing to head into the forest to gather bamboo shoots, a tough but familiar task. "Don't forget the sharp knife in the basket," Dee reminded, as Adam nodded with a warm smile. "Got it. Let's make sure we pick enough to sell at the market this afternoon," he replied, lifting the heavy basket over his shoulder. Together, they crossed a narrow stream, the cool water brushing against their feet. The deeper they ventured into the forest, the narrower and rougher the path became. Overgrown bushes scratched at their legs, and thick foliage almost completely blocked the trail. But soon the trees gave way to an open clearing filled with towering bamboo and clusters of fresh shoots poking up from the ground like little green fingers. "There's so many shoots here, Adam," Dee shouted excitedly, his eyes lighting up. "Jackpot! Let's move fast before the sun gets too hot," Adam grinned. They worked hard, digging and snapping the shoots, filling their basket bit by bit. Sweat rolled down their faces and soaked through their shirts, their breaths growing heavier with each passing minute. Yet they kept smiling through the heat. "Adam, look at this one. It's huge," Dee called out, turning to show him. But Adam wasn't there. Dee frowned. "Adam, where'd you go?" A faint, strained voice echoed from behind the trees. "Dee, I got bit by a snake." Time seemed to freeze. Dee's heart pounded as he sprinted toward the voice. There, under the shade of a tree, Adam lay curled up, face twisted in pain, clutching his bloodied leg. The snake bite was already swelling, dark and angry. It hurt so bad," Adam groaned, eyes shut tight. Panicking but trying to stay calm, Dee fumbled through the basket, pulling out a piece of rope. His hands trembled as he tied it tightly above the bite. "I need to stop the venom from spreading." "Come on, think fast," he muttered to himself. "You're gonna be okay. I'm getting you out of here. We need to treat this now," he said, bending down to lift Adam onto his back. Adam's voice was weak. "Can you carry me? Maybe I should try walking." "Don't be stupid," Dee snapped, holding back tears. "Just breathe. I've got you." The forest was no longer calm. The birds were silent, the trees stood still, and the sun beat down relentlessly. Dee stumbled through the underbrush, sweat pouring down his face, legs shaking under the weight. But he didn't stop. Step by step, breath by breath, he pushed forward, carrying his friend through the jungle, with only determination and fear to guide him. As the late afternoon sun began to fade, Huyen and her daughter Maya walked hand in hand away from the bustling market. Maya's new plastic sandals slapped softly against the dusty road, and the popsicle in her hand melted slowly in the summer heat. Still, her face beamed with joy, a simple happiness bought with the last few coins her mother had. "Time to head home, sweetheart," Huyen said gently, squeezing her daughter's tiny hand as if she never wanted to let go. They made their way down a narrow dirt path, shaded by rows of leafy trees. Wild fields stretched out around them, and every step forward felt like walking toward a dream. In the distance, their small house tucked beside a hillside slowly came into view. Patched roof, faded walls, but full of warmth. Huyen bent down and brushed a mosquito bite on Maya's skinny leg. Her eyes stung. "I need to get her a mosquito net soon," she thought silently. Inside their modest home, a few seed packets sat neatly by the window, next to a small bottle of medicine. Small things, but to Huyen, they were treasures. Every item had been bought with sacrifice, every cent carefully saved. There was no time to rest. Rolling up her sleeves, Huyen grabbed the old hoe leaning against the wall. Maya sat quietly on the doorstep, playing with dry leaves. Her mother stepped into the garden and got to work. Each swing of the hoe landed with purpose, carving straight rows into the dry soil, like the steady beat of a heart that never stops fighting for love. The little garden was starting to take shape. Rows of young green shoots stood waiting for the rain. She wasn't just planting vegetables, she was planting hope, life, and a future for Maya. A soft breeze swept through, carrying the smell of fresh earth and the faint sweet scent of her daughter's hair. Huyen looked up at the sky. Sweat trickled down her face. The sunlight caught in her tired eyes worn by struggle, but burning with unshakable faith. Sweat streamed down Dee's face, soaking through his shirt as his legs threatened to buckle beneath him. But he kept moving. With Adam slumped over his back, unconscious and barely breathing, Dee fought his way through the unforgiving terrain. The trail twisted and climbing. Roots snaked across the path, and thorny underbrush clawed at his skin. The forest felt endless. His lungs burned with every breath. His heart pounded in his ears, but he didn't dare stop. "Just hold on, Adam. Don't give up on me." He gasped for air as he stumbled over a rock, but caught himself, clutching Adam tighter. "Hang in there, Adam. We're almost there." Dee panted, voice raw. Adam let out a faint groan, his words barely audible. I can't breathe. "Don't talk. Just stay awake," Dee said through clenched teeth, trying to sound stronger than he felt. "I'm here. I've got you. Nothing's going to happen to you, okay?" As the sun sank below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of deep blue and orange, a small wooden house finally came into view. It stood quietly at the edge of the forest, weathered by time, its roof covered in moss and its walls faded. But to Dee, it looked like salvation. Without hesitating, he rushed to the front and shouted, voice cracking from exhaustion and fear, "Please, someone help! My friend's been bitten by a snake." The front door creaked open almost instantly. An older man appears, his hair silver, his gaze sharp and alert. One look at Adam was all it took. "Bring him inside, now," the man ordered. Dee pushed the door open and staggered into the dimly lit room, gently softening Adam onto a bamboo cot. The old man moved fast, grabbing a bowl of herbal paste and clean cloths. His hands, though aged, worked with calm precision, cleaning the wound and wrapping it tightly. "He's lucky you got him here when you did," the man murmured. Another 30 minutes, and it might have been too late. Dee stood beside the cot, still catching his breath, but he never let go of Adam's hand. The fight through the jungle wasn't over. But for now, Adam had a chance. And Dee had proven that real friendship isn't just about good times. It's about carrying someone when they can't stand on their own. The soft hum of cicadas echoed through the warm air as gentle sunlight filtered through the rooftop slats. In the backyard, a mother and her daughter worked together in their modest garden, laughing and playing with their loyal dog, Bibi. The scene felt like something out of a countryside painting. Peaceful, full of warmth, and quietly beautiful, even in the midst of life's struggles. Despite the long days and the weight of hardship, their bond was strong, rooted in love, patience, and hope. Huyen, the mother, continued to repair their tiny home, one piece at a time. She carefully reinforced the bamboo walls, lining up each beam with quiet precision. To anyone else, they were just scraps of wood and bamboo. But to her, every beam, every nail was a step closer to her dream home. A place of safety, of comfort, of future. The sound of her hands sawing through bamboo echoed across the yard, steady and determined, shaped by calloused palms and quiet strength. Just a few feet away, little Maya sat patiently, playing by herself with twigs and pebbles, never once complaining. She understood, in her own way, that her mother was building something special, not just a house, but a life. Each bamboo pole was split with care, the soft thud of wood against wood blending with the chirping of birds and rustle of leaves. The whole space breathed with a quiet rhythm, as if the world had slowed down just for them. Later, as the two washed clothes together beside a bucket, the sky suddenly shifted. Without warning, a summer rain came pouring down, soaking the yard in seconds. Maya squealed in surprise, while Huyen let out a tired but genuine laugh. Rain ran down their faces and mixed with the soap bubbles. But there was no panic, no rush. Just a moment, raw, honest, and beautiful, between a mother, her child, and the simple life they were building, one drop at a time. Adam didn't know what to say. His heart was full of emotions, but the words wouldn't come out. Leaning heavily on Dee's shoulder, the two of them slowly made their way back to the small bamboo house at the edge of the forest. The journey had taken all their strength, but Dee never let go, never once showing signs of fatigue. When they finally reached the door, Dee gently led Adam inside and helped him lie down on the bamboo bed. But at that moment, he felt like this was the safest place in the world. "Don't worry about anything," Day said softly, placing a pillow under Adam's head. "Rest. Tonight, I'll go to the market myself and see if I can find any news about Tieu Huyen and Maya." Adam blinked, his eyes glazed with emotion. He wanted to thank Dee, to tell him how much this meant. But Dee had already walked towards the small kitchen, not waiting for praise or recognition. He didn't want that. There was something so genuine about Dee's quiet kindness. No big speeches, no grand gestures, just action. Real, selfless action. In the small kitchen, Dee hunched over a small fire, carefully preparing a pot of medicine with what little they had. He crushed the herbs between his fingers, stirring them into a clay pot as the faint aroma of roots and leaves filled the air. The light from the doorway cast gold streaks across the floor, catching the gentle movement of steam rising from the pot. Adam watched from the bed, his eyes filled with silent awe. He had been through pain, fear, and confusion, but now, lying here with the soft hum of boiling medicine and the smell of something warm cooking, he felt something unexpected: peace. The little bamboo house wasn't luxurious. It didn't have much, but what it had, loyalty, care, and a bond stronger than blood, was more than enough. And in that moment, Adam knew he wasn't alone. Not anymore. The rain had finally stopped. The world was quiet again, with only the soft drip of water falling from the trees. Tieu Huyen made her way back toward the stream, hoping to finish what the storm had interrupted. But just as she approached the water's edge, a faint voice echoed through the trees. "Help me! Please, someone help!" She froze. Her heart raced. The voice was coming from somewhere up ahead, shaky and desperate. Fear crept in, but she pushed forward slowly, cautiously, scanning the trees. And then a girl appeared, running toward her, soaked to the bone, eyes wild with panic. "Please help me!" the girl cried, clutching Huyen's arm. She was trembling, her entire body shaking in terror. Before Huyen could say a word, another figure stepped out from the shadows. A thin, sharp-faced man with sunken eyes and a chilling presence. His voice cuts through the air like a blade. "Have you seen a girl running through here?" he asked, his tone low and threatening. Huyen felt her stomach twist. She met his eyes, but forced herself to stay calm. "No," she said coolly, pointing in the opposite direction. "But I think I heard someone running that way." The man narrowed his eyes, hesitated, then turned and walked off without another word. Huyen didn't breathe until he was gone. But the danger wasn't over. Not long after, the same man returned, this time at Huyen's home. His voice was louder now, angry, filled with menace. He stood at her door, demanding answers, threatening both her and her young daughter. Huyen stood her ground, shielding Maya with her body, refusing to show fear.